Right. So, good evening, one and all, and welcome to Simon from Gold Eagle Media and UNN, I guess. So, thanks for standing in for us, Simon. For Ed, that is.
Thank you very much. Am I on? You said oh
Oh, yeah,
I'll
you're
tell you
live.
when I'm on the
You're
screen.
live. Yeah, you're live.
Thanks for telling me. Well, good evening. Good evening, John. I didn't realise I was standing in for Ed.
Yeah.
But apparently, on Twitter, I did say that they're big. Those are big shoes to step into.
Yeah, they are. They are big clown feet, I think, was how I described them. But he's he cuts a what would you call imposing figure. He's an imposing figure of a man for a shortish ginger guy.
Is he a ginger? Is he a ginger as well? Because you can't actually see it on your screen. Because I'm getting old now, and I've got a lot of grey hairs, right? But I used to be like really Prince Harry ginger.
Oh,
You know,
did you? Like
like
this?
proper ginger,
This kind
proper
of
proper
ginger.
ginger.
Kind of ginger.
Yeah. And also as well, that's what my hair used to look like when I was about 15, 16 as well.
I haven't done my Prince
Actually,
Harry for a
it
while.
was good because I actually started growing a beard. I was about 14, 13,
Yeah?
14 when I started growing a beard. And I tell you what, right? It was one of my life hasn't been better than when I went into the pub with my friends and they said, I'm not serving you lot, I'll serve him because he's
Yeah.
you know, he's a, and I was like younger than they were, but I had a beard. So
Yeah, it's like they wouldn't give me half price on the bus, even though I was only 14. I had a fine moustache, and they wouldn't give me half price.
I've actually seen your moustache. Okay, I don't know. Are you able to flick that up so the viewers can
Oh
see
God.
what you used to look like? I mean, the bike, right? Mrs. Gold Eagle, right? She's got this thing. She's got
Yeah.
this thing for bikers, right? If I'd show her the photo, she wouldn't look at the moustache. She'd just be looking at the bike. But
It's not much of a bike, mate. I mean, that was a Honda 250 Super Dream. I paid 20 quid for that. I got it out the police pound, and I took it
were
to
you
the.
actually a cop? Were you actually a copper then?
Yeah.
Because I think have you seen that film with what's the guy? One of the things about getting old is that you have to use Google all the time. It's why I don't. Fortunately, this is just a conversation between you and me. We Fat Shugs is not going to be listening, nor Tony Garrett or Robin Wolstenholme.
Oh no, Tony Garrett's on.
Or Alphabet Cat aren't going to be listening to this, right? They most probably know already. But I've got an Alexa because I would say Alexa in this moment in time. I haven't got one.
Yeah.
I'd say, Alexa, who is such and such an actor? It was the one where Irene and me or something.
Me, myself, and Irene.
Me, myself, and Irene. Right?
Jim Carrey.
You know the really sort of like the gay, because that's what you had in this photo. Yeah. You had this gay moustache.
No, it was the 80s, mate. Everybody had a moustache like that. Right, I'm gonna have to see if I can find the moustache. Oh, good grief! You people. Oh, sorry. Oh, what am I doing? Bear with
Harry,
me.
thank you, Alphabet Cat.
Bear with me. Where did I last use that photograph? Twitter. Oh, see, you're putting me on the spot now. If you'd told me about these things beforehand, I could have had it.
If only you had a producer.
Yes, yeah. In fact, that's why isn't Ben doing this remotely? Ben could have been remote producing this for me.
Yeah,
I keep telling him he could, but he never does.
What does he actually do? What does Ben do? All I see is him going on holiday, making videos about all nice things and stuff.
That's what Ben does. Yeah, that's Ben's. That used to be Ben's job. So that's all he kind of does. Right, I'm getting there, mate. I'm going to have this shortly. Keep talking. What are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, I thought we were going to talk about
Conspiracy. Yeah.
conspiracy, because the little intro that you put while people, the holding video,
Yeah.
was you saying it's not a what's the thing
A
called?
Templar
What it's called?
cross.
It's not a Templar cross. It's not a Templar cross.
It's not.
Um,
The internationally known sign for bow thrusters.
but it is typical of the truther movement.
Yeah.
And some people, okay, have gone, unfortunately. Do you know a guy called Brent Lee?
Yes. Yes, I do know Brent Lee. In
Okay.
fact, we had Brent Lee on the show.
You had him on the show. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing it, because I think you were pretty easy on him.
But Ben,
pretty sure-
it was Ben and Brent, and I wanted them. They were meant to come back, and we were going to do a 4-way with Brent and Neil and Ben and I.
Yeah, but you couldn't show that. That can only be shown on OnlyFans. You can't show that on YouTube.
Yeah, 4-way.
A 4-way.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
But I wanted to speak to Neil in particular, because I think Neil was.
Neil's a good guy,
Yeah,
right?
but Neil was really into. Do you remember Richard D. Hall?
Exactly. I bought his book.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, right. Where Mrs. Gold Eagle, okay, she studied Bernays, okay, right? Edward.
Yeah.
Woodward. She studied it, right? And
Right.
from a psychological point of view, okay, I when he said he was doing podcasts with Neil Sanders.
Yeah.
That's not the Colonel, not to be confused with, but he is finger licking good.
Yeah.
And because he could see, this is when it's still up there on richplanet.net.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Richard D. Hall's website. And oh God, that I feel so sorry for Richard D. Hall, because oh my God, they're coming for him. He's gonna lose this court case, you know.
Yeah,
He's
I know.
gonna lose it.
It's another Alex Belfield in the making, isn't it? Right. Here we go. I'll just flip this up, and they should be able to see this. I don't know
Can you put some sexy music as well?
No, I'm not I'm not producing it. For God's sake, mate, give me a break, right?
Whoa.
Yeah. So
you actually look a bit gay there, to be honest. I got to be honest.
I was only 21. I was a young boy. But yeah. So
you didn't put it up on the screen for very long.
Oh, they couldn't hear us when it was up. That was a problem.
Ah. So me doing that, doing some sexy music was irrelevant. Yeah?
It was of no consequence. I mean, I heard it, so it worked for me. It worked for me. Got me going, you know.
You're a typical man. You know, I can just imagine you after your missus. It's like that. Oh, you all right, love? And she's there. Yeah, well, you're there. Yeah, well, it worked for me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you.
Who are you going to satisfy with that? I've heard that a few times, and I'm going, well, me. That's the main thing.
Well, it is all about you, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
You know, with this conspiracy, okay, right? One of the big conspiracies, okay, that people argue about is round globe, or
flat Earth, yeah,
flat Earth or globe.
Yeah.
Which camp are you?
Globe. There are
or don't care.
I don't really care, but there's a lot of things that need to be explained properly. But I think, in all honesty, I think space exists. Although I do have. In fact, Simon, you should be able to see my map just over my shoulder, because they don't see that view. They get a different camera. They get the real enhanced version. So you're seeing it warts and all. So you can actually see my latitude. It's a longitude and time calculator. It is not, despite what Ben says, a flat Earth map. It is a longitude and time calculator. That's what it is.
It does look like a flat Earth globe, because it's in a circle.
Yeah.
And so it's got that model to it. Now, same question to me. I'm neither. I think it's a matrix. I think that we don't, because right
Oh, you
now
think
you're
you
like
think we live
this.
in a
You
holographic universe?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And and
Okay.
and and, and you're like this, right? Because it's
Hmm.
like the conspiracy world, okay, right?
Hmm.
And tying into it as well, common law. You know how, like with common law, right? Is that do you understand? Do you understand? You should know this because you're an ex-copper,
Yeah.
right? Do you stand under? Yeah, you know that one. Okay. Well, here's my conspiracy one I'll throw at you, right? When you were a kid, did
Yeah.
your mum or parent, guardian, or whatever ever say to you, "What do you think? You think the world revolves around you?"
True.
Did they ever say that?
That was said. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Because it's true. Because you're a computer, and everything that you see. The reason I think this is because when I was in drama college, I took a load of hallucinogenic drugs. And the only way I can explain that I was able to put my hand through the wall
Uh-huh.
was that my sense of reality had been broken down. And that's why, also as well, tied in with a little bit of paranoia, where I hear these voices that go, "Kill them, kill them all."
Stop.
Too much.
Right,
Too
too much.
much for YouTube.
Right. So, we Fat Shug in the chat says John thinks common law is nonsense, and no, I don't think common law is nonsense. Common law is law that's been passed down from time immemorial, and society generally takes to be, effective. But what I do think is nonsense is when you try and say you can do things like put in your own electric meter, and then you don't need to pay the electric company because you can bill yourself.
I know a lady who does that.
Well, I'm waiting for proof because I'm waiting for someone who's actually done it and not been jailed. Because
Yeah,
you're not allowed to
I've got
tamper with utilities.
Yeah. There is a lady that I won't dox her, and I won't do my joke because normally when I say I won't dox somebody, I say their name
Mhm.
accidentally, but that's because I'm a twat. What I was going to say is that being a policeman, did you ever have to do one of these psychometric tests?
No.
Do you know about these psychometric
Mhm.
tests? I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever applied for a job.
I
I wanted a job.
I've done psychometric tests, but I never had to do them as a cop.
But I went for a job at Tesco's because we got a little local
Yeah.
Tesco's down here. I'm so short of money. I thought, I'm working all the hours God's given, and I thought, well, I could fit in 3-4 hours, get a little job in Tesco's. So they ask you questions like, if it's Easter and somebody asks, you've been told to fill up the shelf with Easter eggs, and a customer comes and asks you for some barbecued chicken, what would you do? Would you A, tell them to piss off? B, do you mean you had all these questions to do?
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed with Brian Gerrish, because Brian
Uh-huh.
Gerrish
Yeah.
of UK Column,
Yeah.
he was pushing 9-10 years ago. He was chatting, or maybe most probably longer. It's only when I first heard him talking about it. Common purpose, and I was actually interested because one of my friends was a copper. And he had to do like a psychometric test. They asked him questions, everything like that,
Yeah.
which sort of backed up this thing about common purpose, that they were trying to recruit certain types of people. And I think that showed itself during the protests that we were on, after lockdown in the the COVID era. Oh shit! I shouldn't have said that, should I?
No, that's okay. I think that's fine.
I gotta be so careful because
No,
YouTube.
it's not so bad. We're not saying anything about it. We're just describing it as an era. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. During that era, you could see the mentality of the police.
Well,
And how did
see, I think the police have changed completely because it's not the job that. I mean, to be fair, when you join the police, you think you're joining a vocation. You think you're going out there to save the world. You're going to do good. You're locking up bad people. You're protecting the innocent. All that. And then when you get there and you find yourself walking the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning and being told to check all your property, and if any of the shops or pubs or anything like that get broken into and you don't discover it, you get your arse kicked, right? But it's at that point that you realise, hold on a minute, this is like a Victorian system because we're not protecting people. What we're doing is protecting property. So we're looking after the capitalism, you know, rather than looking after the poor people or whatever. And then as you go through, you become more and more disillusioned, and that's why generally older cops are really grumpy fuckers, you know. They really are.
I presume that's a Scottish euphemism. That.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and I think that it comes back to you that you're not really out there to protect the people, you're there to protect the interests of the corporations. And that's ultimately what the police end up doing. They end up working for the government and working for big corporations. It's a bit like rollerball without the skateboards and bikes, you know.
Yeah, that was a good film. I like the bit in
film.
Rollerball where his head's is put down and the ball's going to come and smash it up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason I put it on to policing, you see, is because what I want to ask you, you know, is how do you feel about policing, and do you think, right? Because I'm one of these people. I want a revolution, right? I want us to take over.
Yeah, okay? You want a DD Denslow type thing. Yeah.
Exactly, a DD Denslow on there.
Okay.
But I want to. I don't want to get out just like that government. I still believe in government. I still believe in the police, because we're going to need police to police everything. We still need an army to protect ourselves, and we still need like the politician things. But I want all these corrupt politicians out. And hold elections, but not with the civil service that's behind all of these politicians. I want to clear out of it. How do we get the police on board? Is my question.
Yeah. See, the problem is, the police are just regular people, and the police have got their own jobs. And is anyone else here on the neck, or is it just me?
I think it's just you, but I'm in the studio, so.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, as long as no one else is hearing it. That's weird.
Good evening, Pandora Chaser. Pandora Chaser's in the chat as well.
Yeah, there is an echo. What the hell is going on? Can you hear? It seems to be coming back from you, Simon.
Really?
You.
I have got my YouTube on, but the sound is down. Robin says it's not bad, but Shalini Varma says that there is definitely an echo on there.
Yeah, I know it's me that's echoing. Ah, right.
Yeah, Beats and Tape says it's you Scottish. Oh no, he didn't. No. He just said it's John, not Simon. He said
no, it's me that's echoing. Well, I don't think it is echoing now. It stopped. It stopped now. So. You were hearing an echo because it was coming back from Simon's. That's why. Because I can see it coming in, and it's not coming in just now. So there should be no echo at the moment. Am I correct, or am I a meringue?
I don't know. We could do with a techie guy, couldn't we?
Cease now.
You know, if someone to use their head, you know, a head techie guy, or even Edge the tech guy.
No, I think it's stopped now, so it seems to be okay now. So that's good. Right. So as I was saying, I think the problem with the police is that they've got well-paying jobs these days, and they basically have a mortgage like everyone else, and they don't. It's only when you don't rely on the state that you actually realise how free you can become. But you can't become free when you're tied to things where you need to keep paying for stuff. That's the problem. You know, and. The whole, I mean, if anyone's listened to me from day one, you know that I have no regard for the current system as it stands. I think the whole government system needs to be torn down and rebuilt from the ground up, because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all.
I think as well, what we need to do is we need to install certain people into the system. You see, and I see you as being in that system because you're, you know, along with other coppers as well.
Yeah,
I know you haven't. Come on, man, get some passion into your life of like, do this for the country, do this for the better of us,
Well,
because you need people, because you can't just have. Imagine if you had someone like me in charge of the police. Okay, right, I'm going to take it all over now. Do you know what I mean it would be like, well, we'll pay ourselves millions of pounds, and we'll just carry on as we were before.
yeah.
you know,
I mean, I've always said that people that actively seek power should be disbarred from holding it, because it's always the people that are too activist that want to hold the power, and then the power goes to their head and they become tyrannists and dictators. I've always looked at it from the point of view: why can't we have kind of like almost like a jury system for government? Why can't we just take people from their jobs, right? Put them in government for 4 years, random people, as long as they pass some level of intelligence, okay. But generally random people, put them into government, let them do the government thing for 4 years, and they get paid exactly what they got paid in their job, and then they go back to their job. So they don't have any incentive to change anything to better themselves, because they can't. Take away all the expenses things. If they need to go somewhere on a government thing, then the government, you can have a group that supplies transport or whatever, but you don't let them claim expenses. You take them.
Sounds good. I like where you're going with that. The only
it
thing
needs a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, is because you got 4 years. Within that 4 years, like with Cash for Questions, you've still got the ability to become corrupt. To take the shekel or whatever, wherever the money's coming from. There is so much corruption within the system that it's quite appalling that the rest of the world. Why is it, right? And this is taking us back to the conspiracy, okay, to the world of conspiracy. Why is it that you and I can see, and people in chat can see, look, there's something seriously wrong with politics, with the world, of how it is. How come we can see it, but the rest of the world can't?
Because the rest of the world are either asleep or they're in power and they don't want things to change.
Well, a lot of my friends, young friends, admittedly, my son even, he said, I'm just not interested, Dad. It's nothing to do with me. It's just basically, as long as my internet works, I play he plays games, he goes to work, he's got his wife, his new wife, waiting for a baby, fingers crossed as well. Might be nice to be a granddad. But he's not interested. And I think that is what we're up against. The people that are on the Twitter, like the radical left and the radical middle and the radical everything else. I think they're the ones that are like trying to drive it. And because the government have sort of like simped to them, that you've got, what did I see just before coming on? George Galloway had tweeted about over in, they cancelled it was going to be a Palestinian, what a night this sounds like, Palestinian poetry. Okay, it was going to be a night of Palestinian poetry. Now they're saying that it's because somebody complained. And there's a guy on Twitter that one of my people I follow called A Bloke in the Pub. And he was saying that someone had shut down an event in a pub because someone 20 miles away who didn't drink in that pub rang up and complained, to the authorities. There's so much. Oh, I don't know what's the word for it. I don't think simping was quite the right word. There's not cucking. There's a word for it, but that they're the minorities. It's like the LGBTQ and everything. We're sort of playing to what they want rather than, because we're supposed to be a democracy, aren't we?
Yeah,
I thought in a democracy it was democratic. Or have I got that wrong?
What is a democracy? It's just legalized mob rule, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're a bigger mob, aren't we? Or
it
does seem on Twitter. Twitter is he who shouts loudest gets things.
Yeah. Right. I want to address this. which goes back into what you were talking about briefly. Alexander Cameron says because of the programming, and I think he's got a point. It goes back again. It's coming back from you. How does that? Right, it stopped now. Anyway, oh, I don't know.
Are you hearing words? Because
No,
I used to get that when I was doing drugs.
Yeah, no, I am hearing words, but they're my own words.
What's the echo saying? Is it saying voices?
No, it's me. I can hear myself coming back from you. But as I was saying, the programming's right, because what happens at schools, colleges, and universities these days? Because I was talking about this with Ed the other day. Schools, colleges, and universities have all turned into indoctrination centres. Schools have always been a bit like that. Colleges and universities have always tended to then encourage you to do your own research and to present material. They would give you information where you would go away, research it, and then present material.
But that's called copy and paste.
But now
copy and paste from Google.
Yeah, but exactly now it seems to be that they're now moving more towards a kind of top model. You're not getting the people that actually think for themselves, and I think that's the problem. People expect to be spoon fed. They expect to be told the answer, and our generation, we go out, we look at something, we go, it's like I just fitted a set of patio doors for a guy across the road in one of the other units, and he's going to service my car. So it's a barter economy, right? So I fitted the patio doors for him, and the joiner that was doing one for another thing, he comes across and he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm going to put these doors on." And he's going, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." He says, "It's you can't fit those doors; they're too big for that space." And I goes, "Yeah, that's because you're not thinking out the box." And the doors are now in, and they're brilliant. And the guy's over the moon. It's just people are just boxed into their little boxes, and they won't expand their mind at all.
The trouble is, if we take that and look at it psychologically, the guy that you told, okay, who needed to be thinking outside of the box, he's gone away from that thinking, "Oh, you're a right bugger, you are. I hate you. I'm not going to, I'm not going drinking with you." Do you know what I mean?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. We didn't fall out because he came back later on. He's going, "Well, I'll tell you what," he says, "from one cowboy to another, you cracked it there, mate."
Well, it's when I tend to overthink things, which is it's typical of a truth. You look into something a bit maybe too much that's on there, and to get us back onto this conspiracy that we're talking about is that I think too many people have thought about things too much. And I mean, David Clues at UNN, I don't know if you've seen, he's started going out, putting out.
He's gonna go nuts.
And Rick Munn posted. He said, "Well, we had a week of Kate, a week of thing. Next week, he said it will be Camilla's fake bum." So it does get frustrating. It gets frustrating for me because all we're doing, Chasing Dissent, UK Column, TNT Radio, all we're doing is we are looking at the narrative, looking at the news of what's coming to us, and then we are regurgitating it. We're putting our angle on it. We're saying, look, this is crap. Don't listen to this. This is because of this, and this is because of that. But whilst that's happening, their plans are just carrying on. We're not.
We're
not doing anything about it. We're just reacting to it.
Who are there? Who are there? Who are these people?
The lizards. I actually have got an explanation for the lizards. Okay, right? David Icke's lizard things, right? Because I think he's right about about the lizards, right? But I think it's demonic. I think when he's saying about Ted Heath, he was in the green room with Ted Heath. I don't know if you know the story.
Yeah.
And he said the eyes went black, went over. Now, I don't know if you're religious or anything. I'm a Christian myself. Yeah. Okay, right. So I believe in good and evil.
Okay.
And I think we're sort of like seeing it. Anyone who can't see that there is a battle of good and evil, because we can see we can see, you know, what evil is going on. But that's why I think that is sort of demonic. I mean, David Icke as well. He really pushes like this pagan thing, which drives Mrs. Gold Eagle and myself a bit mad, or madder than we are. But David Icke's been spot on, you know, with connecting the dots, you know, as far as like, you know, the One World Order, the agendas, Agenda 2030, and everything like that. I can't see how he can be a gatekeeper. Why would he? If he was a gatekeeper, why would he be telling us about that? Because
I don't think he's a gatekeeper. Yeah, I mean, I think initially he was a bit off the wall, but once he calmed down and you know, got his points across in a more salient way, it became much easier to listen to. In fact, he commands huge audiences when he speaks. You know, the guy's like, you can't take that away from the guy. He's a great orator, and he gets his points across well. And he's kind of stepped back a little bit from, you know, the shape-shifting lizard thing, which kind of did put people off at the start. And then, you know, declaring himself, did he declare himself the son of God, or?
No, that's a misquoted. He was basically saying, you know, we're all sons of God, basically. You know, I'm the son of God.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in his creation. But I think you know, the Back to the Future. You know, Back to the Future, where he's on their thing and he plays out this like that, and everyone's looking at him because he's like really going mad with the guitar, and he says, you know, oh, you're not ready for that, but your kids will be. And I think with some of this, you know, the stuff that David Icke is talking about, you know, maybe we're just not ready for it yet. I mean, he hasn't spoken about it for a long time now, but he was talking about Saturn and Satan, to get back to do you understand? Do you stand under that sort of thing?
You ever looked into the Electric Universe?
Yes.
So have you?
Oh, sorry, Electric. No, so I thought you Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh,
no. You know me and my my. That's a real Alzheimer's. I've really got early onset.
I do like Jeff Lynne, but no, if you look into the Electric Universe, there's this theory that Saturn, we were inside the kind of protective glow of Saturn, and that was where we were in the Garden of Eden before the Earth came out of there and got ejected into its present
that's what David
orbit.
Icke was talking about then.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And also as well, he was saying the moon was a ship that we took from Saturn to get over here. It's just the abandoned ship.
It does ring like a bell when you hit it with a satellite. Well, when you crash a rocket into it, it rang like a bell for over an hour.
Really?
Yeah, NASA dropped a satellite, not a satellite, they dropped a rocket on it, and it rang like a bell for over an hour.
Okay. Well, so you did say you believe in space, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think we've been to the moon. I think the Russians might have been, but if they did, there's a dead Russian guy up there. Because I don't think they ever made it back.
Or a monkey, or a dead monkey.
Yeah. No, I think the Russians might have made it to the moon, but never got back, and that's why they've been strangely quiet on the whole thing. And I think the Americans faked it because it would have just been too much of a risk if the 3 dead astronauts, you know.
My favorite story, okay, is about when NASA were trying to make a pen to work in space, and they spent, I think it was like 5-6 million, which was a lot of money in those days.
Yeah.
And they had literally teams working day and night to do it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Russia invented the pencil.
Yes. I think. Well, they just repurposed it. Yeah, because why wouldn't you? What's the problem with a pencil? Why would you want a pen? I don't understand.
Exactly. But I think that sums up for me, because a lot of it I see from NASA is that they're just like asking for money, you know, and I'm wondering what secret operations are going on. Do you think we'll get an operation? Talking conspiracy, do you think we'll get an Operation Bluebeam? Do you reckon we'll ever see in our lifetime Operation Bluebeam, as in the alien agenda, holograms, or?
I don't know. I don't know if they're mucking about with something like that down in South America, because South Americans tend to be a bit excitable anyway. I know I'm generalising here, but I'm not trying to be racist. But I think they do have these things where they have these big. Remember the alien in Chile and the Mexican thing, and they have these episodes where the whole village goes nuts and starts shooting at things in the trees and stuff. I don't know if they've been mucking about with people down there to see if it's going to work.
Maybe some form of conditioning, getting them ready.
Yeah.
But talking of Brazilian, I was telling Mrs. Gold Eagle when that bridge collapsed. She said, "Oh, how many people were dead?" I said, "Oh, I think it was a Brazilian." She went, "Oh my goodness!" She said, "That's loads. That's thousands." I said, "No. It was just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one Brazilian." But it has been funny to take it back where we started, when we were talking about the I keep forgetting the cross. What's the
Templar?
Knights Templar.
Yeah.
This Knights Templar cross.
Yeah.
Because there have been some really funny theories, okay, which can sum up the truthing movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a couple that I heard. Maybe you can tell me some that you've heard. One was that there's a no boat theory, that the boat was a hologram. Okay, that one made me laugh.
Okay.
Right, the explosives. People are going quite big. And I love the video where he goes, "Look, it's here, here, here."
Yeah. Right. So, we've all watched the odd war movie, yeah, Battle of the Bulge and things like that, and they blow bridges up and things like that, and I've never ever seen anyone blow a bridge up from the top down.
Yeah, it's always from the bottom.
It was the lights. There's lights on the bridge, and that would be the electrical cable being broken and the shorting out on the metal structure of the bridge. For God's sake! I mean, people just. This is the point of this. Well, this was the point of this conversation tonight. Why are people always looking for something behind what, in the face of it, appears to be an accident? Because let me just paint you a scenario, right? So I am a member of the WEF, sitting in my bunker plotting on the downfall of the United States. I don't know why I'm plotting on the downfall of the United States, but I'm plotting, right? So I think I'm going to take out the United States. So what could we do? We could fly, like a big plane over it and drop a nuclear bomb, but make it explode in the atmosphere as an EMP and knock out all their electrics. Disable the stock market, everything. The country will be, like Dark Angel. Do you remember that? The country will just be wiped out. It'll be back in the Stone Age overnight, because EMP will just wipe out all your electrics. Or, here's a better one. What I'll do is I'll hack into a container ship that's sailing from Baltimore Harbour, and I'll make it crash into the Baltimore Bridge, which will cripple the entire country. Well, will it? And how am I going to do it? Yeah. What a ridiculous scenario. What a ridiculous scenario.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at my Twitter message. This is a friend of mine, okay, and I love him to bits. #no homo. But now I'm not saying he's wrong, okay.
Okay.
But I'm going to read out his whole text to him, and I want it known as well. I got accused of gaslighting someone. I'm not meaning to gaslight this person. If he does listen back to him, right? Because I really appreciate the stuff that he sends me, because I do watch it, because I like to get all the information, everything like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was also the one I was, when Candace Owens, she had this, she got sacked from the Daily Skeptic, and she's and talking out. And this same friend said, because I was going on about it, he said, "You know she's a man, don't you?" And it's like, right, okay. I mean, but I know you're laughing, right? But she could be.
Yeah,
She
okay.
could be.
Right.
Because we're laughing at it because it sounds ridiculous. But if I'd have told you 4 or 5 years ago that they were going to implement a new technology of vaccine and put into our, I gotta be careful because you're on YouTube. I keep forgetting. Anyway, let me read this. Okay, all right. The Baltimore Bridge collapse is to mark the end of America. The man who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner was named after that bridge mate. He was a Freemason named Francis Scott Key. All Diana's monuments are to celebrate Isis. Charles and Kate are dead. William will be crowned king in April during the eclipse, as he was born on the summer solstice. If you check out I Pick Goat, they tell you on there in riddles. Notice the man-made Devil's Comet go past as the ship hits the bridge. The military launch these from high-altitude bombers, hence why you always see them come down at the same angle. And slow down the footage. I know, it goes on. And slow down the footage, you can see the squibs detonating just like on 9/11. William is their new messianic Masonic figurehead, and there will be a huge event very soon on La Palma. Now, the thing is, right, is that what if he is right? Okay, because I've not done all those things that he's saying, right? Talking about the bombing on of the thing and the squibs. Right? I'm pretty sure that he's wrong there. Okay,
I'm pretty sure he's wrong,
and he's got that wrong. Okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that they're that William isn't their new messianic Masonic figurehead. That makes sense if you've done some research into William, because there is a conspiracy theory that William is the Antichrist and that he's the it was in a ritual thing. I watched a YouTube video about it.
William the Pegger?
No. William the Prince. William, in Harry and William.
Yeah, the Pegger.
The Pegger.
Yeah, have you not heard that? He likes the peg.
What he likes being pegged, does he?
Yeah.
He's got a washing line fantasy.
Yeah.
I've heard he's got a temper.
Yeah, he has got a temper.
To be honest with you, John, okay, I do watch videos. Okay, I do watch a lot of them. And this particular friend of mine who sends me these things, he sends me the videos that he's watched, and I will watch the video to see what's made him think the way that he's thinking. That I then get my opinion from it. I'll then do some more research into it and look at everything. But I haven't got the time to be doing all of that. I just want to have something in the back while I'm doing, because UNN isn't my main job. I still work. And trying to fit everything in. I mean, I'm growing old. I mean, I literally, if you go back to videos of me a year ago, I didn't have these wrinkles.
Tell me about it.
I'm literally so tired. I just want it to end, which is why I'm so pleased they're going to start doing. It's going to be free euthanasia. Me and Mrs. Gold Eagle will go for that, man. So much cheaper. Save us a fortune. Not.
It seems to me that there appears to be the problem I think I've got is that I'm not in one camp or the other. I'm too critical of the truthers. I'm very critical of the people that aren't awake, but I'm too critical of the truthers to be accepted by them, So I end up, for instance, I put a video out the other day about the bridge, and I got a comment on it that says, "Look, mate, you're posting nothing but conspiracy theories all the time. Give it a rest." And I'm like, I don't know what video you watched, but it wasn't that one. Because I don't think the bridge is a conspiracy theory. I think it's a genuine accident. It's like all the. Do you remember all the rail derailments that we had? Last year
in America, yeah. And there was literally one after the other.
Yeah, and then we got one after. Yeah, we got loads and loads of rail derailments, and they were all over the news, and it was happening all the time, right? And then when you actually looked at it, They're still happening now. They're still happening right now. You're still getting rail derailments. You're still getting toxic chemical spills, but nobody's reporting it anymore because it's yesterday's news. So that it's the MSM that drives everything. The media actually drives where you want to be. So if the media is driving it, is it the media that's driving it? Because in some respects, I don't think the government control the media as much as they think they do.
Well, the media were doing 24/7 on Sky, 24/7 rolling thing. It was like Richie Allen was saying on the Richie Allen show. He did his own little sketch, and his announcement here. There's 4 people have died in Hong Kong. They were out going to get some food, and do you know what I mean? It's like it's literally, it's news. Yeah, okay, it's news, but what's it got to do with us? This is in Baltimore,
Yeah, you're 100% right, because the 24-hour news cycle is killing us. It's killing us with too much information and too much fear. It's just generating fear porn after fear porn after fear porn. You don't need a 24-hour news cycle, and you don't need to know everything that's going on in the world. And in fact, I would say, because you know everything that's going on in the world, you enter this stage of information overload and you can't process what the hell's going on. And I think that's what happens with the truthers. They get to this point where their brain is expanded so much with so much information that they've got to start making connections that are trying to explain why these things happen, when these things are just coincidences. Because coincidences, shit does happen. It really does.
Yeah. Now, you see, I do believe, right, in psyops, as in psychological operations.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things go, for example, there's a place I used to go to in Hungerford, and just by there, right, there was a lovely, I used to go there with my ex-wife, but there was it was like oldie worldy times. I can't remember what it was called, right? But you drove down there and you had all these signs going, you're going back in time. And you dressed up in old peasant clothes, and you would do things like shooting crossbows. You had hawking. Right, okay. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks after we'd gone there, there was a shooting in Hungerford.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm just thinking, oh, that's terrible, right? And I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I think when you look at a psyop, is look what comes out of a psyop. That was like the last of the small arms gun control. That was the end of it. Okay,
well,
straight after
that was Dunblane, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dunblane as well. Yeah. I mean, these are things because I haven't looked into them. I wasted too much time on the McCanns, to be honest. And the way I like to research is I like to really. You can't look into literally everything, but in my research of psyops, is that not everything is a psyop. They don't have to do a psyop because weird shit happens anyway.
Yeah,
that will get people into the. Oh, this is.
It's like, do you remember the guy? That shot the cop and blinded them. Remember the guy with the
Ralph Motes.
Yeah.
Right.
So the thing is, these things happen, and what I think is the government takes advantage of them.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, that must have been a scary time for being a policeman, because he just said literally, if you're a copper out there on the streets, you better watch out. I mean, that I don't think is a conspiracy, but let's just take the fact of that case where Gaza, was the person that was, right, Gaza, right, you need to go and talk to Ralph. Take him his four cans of beer and a bag of chips or whatever it was. That sort of thing of like, why would they do that? And I mean, 9/11, for example. When you look at all the things that were weird on that day of 9/11, they were doing they stood down on it because they were doing because they said, is this real time or is this exercise? So they were doing an exercise, so everything had stood down. What's the chances of that happening? Have you seen Richard D. Hall's thing about 7/7?
Yeah, I've seen all of Richard D. Hall stuff. I think he's an excellent researcher, and I think he does due diligence. I really don't think that he doesn't what would you say? He doesn't big things up just for the sake of getting clicks and likes. I think he actually does the job, but he's not to everyone's taste. But I think I think he's a stand-up guy, and I think he's getting hard done to right now. But yeah,
100%.
but the I mean, Ed and I have done 9/11, and we're
Well,
kind of
with 7/7, the reason that I was bringing that
yeah.
up was because they were running an exercise on the same day. There's a
Yeah.
video of it where the guy is saying, that they were doing the exercise in
Yep.
the same 3 stations. And
Yep.
what Richard D. Hall did, which is like the, thinking outside of the box. If we go back to your fitting your patio doors, that's basically what Richard D.
Mhm.
Hall is doing, is he's thinking outside of that box. And he said, do you know what the chances of that are? And he works it out
Mhm.
of what the chances are. And they're literally millions and billions to one.
So I'm with you, completely with you.
And this is the thing, is that even so, that the chances of that happening were a billion to one, you've still got to okay, it's like you've got to be Sherlock Holmes.
Mhm.
You've got to take everything with a pinch of salt, rule everything out, and when you've ruled it all out, if that's the only thing that it could be,
Yeah.
then that's what it is.
Whatever remains, no matter how improbable, and it's as long as it's not impossible, then that's the result. That's the resolution.
But I'm not. I mean, I think myself, right, that Brent Lee is nefarious. I'll say that now. Okay, in so much as I think that's his latest shill. Is that bear in mind, right? What made him? I was a conspiracy. I was a big conspiracy guy, right? He watched some videos, okay, and those videos that he was watching, right, have actually been debunked.
Yeah.
Okay. Richard D. Hall as well has done some work on debunking some of those as well. Like with the the no planes theory and stuff like that. So I can understand his butthurt because he was in a movement, and he's a rapper as well. He's a really crap rapper. If you didn't know, he's Brett Lee, and he's got a show. Seriously, right? The guy drives me mental.
Yeah, I don't rate him. I think he's chasing money. That's all he's doing. Not genuine.
He's got a full job apparently. Because I contacted him because I thought it'd be good content. Get him on the show, have a chat. Because then just hit him. And the same thing is because, to be honest, right, I don't give a monkey's backside what he thinks about 9/11. I don't give a monkey's about 7/7. I don't care about that, but I do care about COVID. Okay, and I do care.
Careful now.
I am. Yeah, I do care, right, about that, about all that stuff that's going on, because he's rejecting that because of his rejection on everything else.
Yeah. See, it's a difficult subject to get into, but.
Especially on YouTube.
Yeah, especially on YouTube, but it's not quite as hard as it used to be. But to be fair, I think I've always called it a massive a disproportionate government reaction to effectively,
ACM Tech says Bent is the mutton crew's welcome wagon.
An infectious disease. Yeah.
We Fat Shugs says he doesn't know who Brent Lee is.
Yeah, I mean, just
Google
him.
I did two shows dissing him or gaslighting him. I should say. Alphabet Cat says, I think Brent actually knows what is really going on, but I think he got scared and now takes the other route. I think Alphabet Cat has recently in the UNN chat has been coming out with some really, really good stuff. Koof GE, call it that. Koof. Yeah, I should do. Use code. It is. I'm the thing is, because I'm old, it's really difficult to
you're not that old.
Do you not think so?
No, what age are you? You're only in your 50s, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in my 50s. But next year I'll be 60.
Yeah, okay. So you're still younger than me.
Yeah, you fell in that fountain as well, the fountain of youth or youth. You don't. I thought you were well younger than
I'll
me.
be
I'd have said.
62 this year, mate.
Oh, you're looking well for it. Looking
Well,
well for
thank you.
it. I mean, it is. I tell you what's really difficult, right? And I've had this all my life, right? Is telling the age of girls, young girls. And I used
Whoa,
to be a
whoa.
club leader. Is this not good? Is this not good for YouTube?
I'm not sure where you're going here, but we don't want those kind of revelations.
Robin Wolfensohn, 62 as well.
Oh my god!
Pandora Chaser thinks I look a lot older than the 59. Goldie, this is Jacqueline Watt says this is the one. Goldie, you're only as young as the woman you feel, and Michelle is ageless.
Great, Groucho Marx said that.
Yeah,
yeah, you're only as old as the woman you feel.
Well, funny enough, when we were talking earlier, I was thinking about Groucho Marx when he said that if it's a club, if they're asking me to be in their club, I don't think it's a club that I should be a member of. When we were talking earlier, I was thinking about that. Mr. Gold is blushing, says Janet. I'm not blushing. I'm not blushing.
He needs a better camera. He looks very washed out.
Yeah, which is like I have a light here that shines on me, but
yeah, I think you need a better camera, mate. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Well,
look at me. I look
glorious. This is something I was going to go on to as well, right? Because Chasing Dissent, okay, UNN, TNT, UK column and stuff like that, is we are supporter funded. You know, we have to rely on that.
Yep.
And I know you don't put out an advert as such for it, but send us your money or something like that. You should
down there in the corner, Ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent.
Support us at Ko-fi.com Chasing Dissent. So I mean, if I had some money, I'd donate it.
Yeah.
We're literally so skint. It is that's why we're gonna do something about it. We were thinking about van life originally. Originally we were thinking,
well, we did that.
Yeah, how'd you get on?
Well, we did that during the Kuf.
Okay.
So to put you in the picture, I had a lucrative IT contract with a high street bank. Okay, so I was on 6 figures a year, easy, right? And my wife had a gym. She'd opened a gym, and I'd funded it from my wages basically. And in March, I got my contract renewed for another year. So that was a guaranteed, substantial amount of money coming in for the next year. IT, so, IT, the big payer if you're in that market. And then in April, the bank cancelled all their contracts and just binned us all. So we ended up out of work. And of course, nobody was taking anybody on because everybody stopped everything because the government imposed a lockdown and every company in the world just stopped doing anything, to see what was going to happen. And then, of course, the government then closed the things that people need, gyms. And Scotland closed their gym for over 18 months.
Yeah.
And then,
there were a lot of gyms, gym owners, I think, spoke out more than any of medical people actually did.
Sent the police round to arrest us. Because instead of closing, what we did was we allowed one person in at a time, on a schedule. And somebody reported us and they sent the police round to arrest not only us, they said they were going to arrest our staff and any customers that were in there as well. And at that point, you can't stand up because you cannot speak for other people. You can't put other people in a position where they're going to end up with a criminal record or whatever. So ultimately, our gym was shut for nearly 18 months in Scotland, and that killed it. And I've never been able to get another IT job because.
So we were talking about van life.
Yeah. So what we did is I bought a van, and it was a fairly substantial van, and we took off. So me, the wife, and the two kids, we took off for Europe, and we then spent all of the we travelled through a tier 4 lockdown in England. We stayed at my friend's farm in near Manchester. We stayed at a farm there overnight, and then we went down to the tunnel. We got to the border patrol. We were going through to France, and the guy just looked at our passports and goes, "Have a lovely trip." This is tier 4 lockdown, right? Have a lovely trip, right? So we went across to France. We stayed in the Pyrenees. We stayed in the Midi Pyrenees. We stayed in Normandy, and then we stayed in what's it called the Atlantic region, the southwest France. And we
Ah
stayed,
oui, c'est le Nantes, Loire-Atlantique.
and we had house sitting. So we got at one point I had a 5 acre. We had a house. It was a 3-bedroom house, wood burning stoves, and 5 acres to look after.
Was this in France?
Yeah, this was in France. The people
Yeah,
were
you
stuck
didn't
in
have a house. You had a maison.
yeah, and the people were stuck in Australia. So, I basically we basically spent 6-7 months living rent free, watching their dog, feeding their dog, and putting him on a diet because he was really fat. And I mean, we made a big change to him. He was so active after we'd finished. So we spent 6 months there. We cut the grass, and I mean, and when I say cut the grass, it took 2 days to cut the grass with 2 ride-on lawnmowers. Me and my son would do it in tandem. I'd cut it on the one that didn't pick up the grass, and he'd follow behind on the other one at an angle, just like you see the tractors doing it. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant fun. And rural France is fantastic. Now, rural France was in lockdown, right? So
It's formidable.
you weren't supposed to go more than 10 kilometres from your house, right? Our nearest shop, and I don't mean supermarket, I mean our nearest shop was 16 kilometres away. France is huge, and it's empty. It's absolutely empty, and it's brilliant. It's like being back in the 80s. It is great.
Did you learn any French?
Un petit peu.
Un petit peu?
Yeah.
Ah, parce que moi je parle français. Moi je m'appelle, mon nom c'est Simon Gold.
Je suis
my
Jean.
name in French,
Yeah.
right? Because it's Simon Gold,
Yeah.
right? But my name in French is Simon Gold. Simon Gold.
Yeah,
So I am I think. But I learned French when I was in before drama college. Actually, I used to go to hang around. I was actually in a French play. I was in French because I wanted to be an actor. You see,
Yeah.
I went to drama college. Okay, yeah, check it out,
Oh,
Sleuth Cosmic. Yeah, it was. That's what I wanted to be, darling. All my friends went off and became really well known, like really well known.
Yeah. I mean, I was
And,
just before lockdown. I was in a movie,
were you?
Redcon 1.
Oh, okay.
One of the worst movies you'll ever see.
I haven't. I don't think I've seen that. I do watch a lot of movies.
But still better. I'm getting that echo again, but still better than Madam Web.
Well, my life is. Do you know where the book by Grant Naylor called Red Dwarf made into the TV series Red Dwarf? And
Yeah.
you had Rimmer.
Yeah, yeah. Arnold.
Yeah. Now, my life, okay, was very similar to his in that split where you had the Rimmer that stayed for that extra year, and the Rimmer that went on. The Rimmer that went on became the hologram twit, okay, and the other one became the super cool dude, okay. The Simon Gold that you are watching, talking to, listening to now is it's not the super cool dude. I was lined up to do a film, okay. In those days, you used to have to get your equity card, okay, right?
Yeah.
And I got my equity card, was all assured, okay. I was going to be in this film called Prince of Zenda or something, and it was all lined up. All I had to do was pass my stage combat exam, and I was in.
Yep.
And it was that stage combat exam that I failed, because they said to me I had to do like 1-2 steps and then slice them across the face, which I did. But I forgot you were supposed to be doing it like 3 feet away from the guy. I was the only person that failed out of like 400 people.
So you actually hit the guy?
Yeah, look. He told me to do it. If David Clues said, Simon, do this, right? I do it. You know? Honestly, if David Clues said, right, Simon, we've got a grift going on now.
Oh my God!
Loads of dynamite, put on loads of TNT, and go and blow up the house.
You're just a throwback to 1930s Germany. I'm just following orders.
I was just following orders. It's funny as well, because I was thinking when you were talking about with the gym and the person grassing up.
Yeah.
Because that at the end of the day, it's equivalent to the people that like grassing up, like the Anne Franks of the world. You know.
Yeah.
She's up there. She's in their loft. You know. And that's the trouble is that how easily everybody turned into 1930s Germany. It was crazy times.
You know what disappointed me more than anything in France was they had a period where they relaxed things, and then they had another lockdown, right? And how I never realized the French were such hypochondriacs. The one thing you'll get the French on is give them a fear of a disease, and they were nuts. You know, like they wouldn't let you in shops without a mask. They wouldn't let you in the pub. You weren't allowed in the pub without a certification, shall we say. You weren't allowed in theme parks without a certification, although Ben and I managed that. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing was crazy. So we thought, right, we've had enough of this. So we got in the van and piled off, and we did 8 European countries in, I think it was about 2.5 months, just traveling around to see where was good and where was bad. And we rolled into Sweden, and oh my God, Denmark and Sweden, it was as if there was nothing wrong with the world. We did the Christmas market in Denmark. We were sitting outside having dinner under the canopies, packed in with other people. Absolutely brilliant. Sweden, we were able to go to the movies, the cinema. We went to the coffee shops, had fika. It was fantastic. It was like being alive when, after being, effectively constrained. It was like getting out of prison, and Sweden and Denmark, absolutely unbelievably relaxed. And
it's also
no
though
problems.
it's the type of people that we are, you see, because you obviously coming from Scotland, you're different from me down here in South Wales.
Yeah,
because we eat canapes. We don't like sit under them. So
yeah.
But whatever, you're free. You can identify, do whatever you want, mate.
Yeah.
It's why don't you do that now, though? What brought you back?
Well, we came. What we did was we tried to keep the gym going, so it was difficult. But we thought we've had enough, so we took off. But we'd left one of the girls in charge happening. Paused. Stream's paused. So the stream appears to be pausing. Yeah, we're going to have to change our software. This is just ridiculous.
We use StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm thinking we've been looking at that as well, because I'm looking between StreamYard and a thing called EV Mux, which is very similar. But this just isn't working. What we're doing just now, we're getting too many glitches on it. It's really annoying.
Looking at the chat. The chat hasn't said anything for a while.
I think it did pause.
Okay now. Alphabet Cat on it. It says it's back. It's okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So we're back here just now, and we tried to reinvigorate the gym, and I think what's happened is the government here in Scotland have done such a good job on frightening people that people just don't come out anymore. It's crazy. It just didn't work. So we're now my wife's now got a new master plan. She's going to go back to baking. So we're going to make people fat instead of fit. So yeah,
that there's irony. There's irony in that. You know, from a freedom movement sort of thing, where you can't get better than a gym. You know, exercise is really good. Mrs. Gold Eagle, pre Kuf Kuf. Thank you, Alphabet Cat, for teaching me that. Pre Kuf Kuf, Mrs. Gold Eagle used to work for a chair company, which is others are available. This was HSL. And she used to, as we drive around, she'd see somebody running and she'd go, "Oh, there's another customer for me. I'll be having him too." Because when people are out running,
running's not good.
She was seeing, because they make fitted chairs basically, so rise recliners and stuff like that. And so because with seating, it's funny because you know how the conspiracy theorists, right? We've all suddenly become experts in bridges. We've all suddenly become experts in health, experts in everything. We have an idea. Okay, we do have a good idea about things, but we're not experts.
No,
but,
of course we're not.
What they did do, which was interesting, was that, did you know that a chair, it's all about back support. It's all about things in there. And what we found out, being in this freedom movement, is about health. So we found out that, and this is why a gym is so important, because you can exercise at a gym without the pressure that you're getting when you're out doing exercise in other places. And with health as well, right? It's so ironic that your wife is now going to be going into baking, because we've now found out how bad sugar is.
Sugar's a nightmare.
But how much sugar goes into cakes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But sugar...
is your wife going to do a healthy cake?
No, she's not. No, because it
wouldn't sell.
it wouldn't sell. Yeah, it just wouldn't sell, mate. There's a reason why Greggs is making a fortune.
Yeah. Well, I tell you the secret to your wife's success, and it's a piece of cake.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's it. It's because my wife, for example, that it's I've forgotten what the new name is for it now. We might get the stream cut off if I say that word, Easter. What are they calling it now?
What?
Special occasion eggs or something. It's there's all outrage.
You're not allowed to call them Easter eggs.
No. I'm being funny.
Okay.
In fact, okay, that's a perfect example of debunking a story. The story that's out there on Twitter is, right, it was a sign in a shop, and it was, I can't remember what it's called, okay, right, but it was called something like, they didn't call it Easter egg, they called it special day egg or something. The words weren't Easter egg. So uproar on Twitter, this is disgusting, okay? So I looked at Cadbury's just to see if Cadbury's had changed it on there. Cadbury's actually brought out a statement, and they said the shop have done that. That's not, nothing to do with us. The shop have done it. They're free to do. They buy the eggs off us, whatever they want to call them. They're free to do. So what's all the hoo-ha?
Yeah.
But yet there is still, if you go on your Twitter feed tonight, you'll see there's still a hoo-ha about it.
Crazy. I mean, and this is part of the thing that I don't understand. It's like everybody jumps on everything and makes such a big deal about it, and it's like, shit happens in the world all the time, and look how many people are in the world and how many shit things are happening all the time. You don't need to make things up. You really don't.
Plus, as well, you got this thing going on about Cadbury's, whilst there's like again, I've got to be careful on YouTube, because I'm sure that if I say the Jenny cider that's going on over there, as a human being, right, I just can't understand why our Me Too, I care, we care about you, we love you all. Why haven't they? Why don't they just stop it all? Oh,
Yeah,
goodness,
well, the thing is, how
oh,
can you?
it's mirrored. It's mirrored. I will not comply.
So no, it's not mirrored on the live feed. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
but the problem is, I think the problem with a lot of these things is, you know, it's like, did you see that thing today on that listed how many people had died in other events? You know, like in Sudan and in Syria, they're running into the hundreds of thousands of people that have died, hundreds of thousands of people have died, and no one gives a shit about them.
Yeah.
You know? Because there seems to be this group that you cannot criticize. And you know the group I mean, you know, they've been around for quite a few years.
I'm actually part of the thing.
Well,
because I'm part of the orange juice.
Yeah.
So it's a strange world that we live in, that people get more angry about what we call an Easter egg, you know, rather than and yet the left side of politics, which are all about caring and about, you know, oh, I'm offended, and you know, all of this. They're talking. They're the ones that are sort of like talking about it, but they're not the ones out on the streets.
No.
You know, there are some of them, but I've deliberately not gone out on the streets on this one because I don't want to confuse my message of how I feel with the message that's being portrayed out there at the moment.
Yeah, see, I just find that it's not our fight, right?
Yeah,
it's not our fight, and I know this sounds horrible, right? But this isn't our fight. We didn't really cause it, right? And we don't have any skin in the game here. You know?
Our government does, because they're using our tax money to give for plus their missiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there is like, it does affect us,
but they shouldn't be.
But them selling, right? Put it this way, right? If we got a cut, you and me, right, every time we sell a missile, let's say we got 10 grand every time they send something off over there, and we got 10 grand each.
Yeah,
I you know, would we have the integrity to, you know, to keep stum? Well, what's the difference between that and we're not getting anything?
Yeah, because under
all we're getting is big prices. Everything's going up.
Under my system, yeah, we would have the integrity because we wouldn't get that cut. There's no method of you getting it. You're only getting your wage that you normally have. So you're put in government. You can't get a bonus. You don't get a bonus. It doesn't matter how good or bad you do. You're not getting a bonus, and you're not getting a cut.
Can I just throw a spanner?
Yeah, go on.
A spanner in your works. Right? Don't be a lefty, right, and cry. Okay, promise.
Oh, I won't.
Can I just tell you, okay, from experience, okay, the random people, okay, that are put into, and it is random.
Okay,
they're not that bright. They're not that clever.
Yeah.
And to be fair to you and your thing, you did say there'd have to be like a test.
Yeah,
right?
There need to be some kind
because the problem is,
like
is that we can be able to find enough people that would be able to pass that test.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could.
Have you been out there, John? Have you spoken to normies, right? Yeah. As I call them. I shouldn't gaslight them, okay, right? But
yeah. I know what you mean. Some are okay. Some are okay. Some are quite grounded, and some are quite based. But other people have just lost it. You know.
The truth is that the Mr. Common Man, my next door neighbor, they just want to live their life. They just want, their kids. They want to see their kids grow up. They want to go. They want, they like to go out
2 weeks in Spain.
They want a holiday.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. And I suppose, isn't that what we want as well? We want that, but we're just sort of like a bit worried because we can see where the narrative, where this agenda is taking us. And It's taking us to 50-minute cities. It's taking us to cashless. I don't know what else I can say on here, because you're on
Oh,
YouTube.
did you see the did you see the Oxford thing, right? Where you have your
15-minute cities.
yeah, so you have your 15-minute set and you've got your 100 days of passes or whatever, and then are you using your free 100, are you using one of your 100-day passes, or are you take the bus instead? But you can always get there by driving in a different circuitous route. So and this is the part I don't quite understand. They're fighting climate change, right? And air pollution. So they're going against climate change, and they're going for cleaner air by making you drive further and longer. Is that right? Yeah.
I had to sell my ULEZ compliant. It was a Nissan L Grand. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I had to sell that.
Why?
Okay? It was ULEZ compliant because I needed the money, and I bought myself a diesel. Well,
Oh,
yeah, but,
evil.
But that's what they forced me to do, right? They forced me to do it because, from going from compliance, the stupid prices, okay, which will fix this stupid thing of petrol prices, because if you look at facts, the price per barrel was this when it was the same. We're now paying more. I was amazed. My mum and dad just came back they went to Spain, just by Gibraltar. And I said, oh, what were you paying? What were you paying for your fuel out there? Because when I was a kid, I remember Europe used to be like 30, 40p a litre when we were about like 70, 80 pounds.
Yeah,
but it's the same price over there now.
Oh, it's mental. Yeah. I mean, Europe's more expensive than it is here.
Yeah, but it
so
wasn't
much
like
for Brexit.
That. When I was a little boy, it was the other way round.
I know.
Because one of the gripes was it was the government that were putting too much tax. We pay too much tax on the on the petrol.
Well, we do. That's true. I mean, we were forced to buy a car there because we still have a French car. So we've bought a British car. And it's ULEZ compliant, but it's 18 years old. I just bought an 18-year-old Vauxhall Astra that is ULEZ compliant.
Well, with the tractor protests, tractors are exempt.
Yeah.
So shouldn't we all just get a tractor?
That's a possibility. Here's the thing, and I've asked this on a number of occasions. What are the tractors protesting about in the UK?
Well, they're protesting because, and very interesting as well, Mrs. Gold Eagle does a lot of research for me. Okay.
Yeah, uh-huh.
She watches this news channel called TikTok. Okay. And she gets so many really, really good videos that my audience at UNN, they love. In fact, I'm sure everyone on Twitter as well, they like these TikTok videos. It's basically, look at like libs of TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
Nearly all their things.
I just can't.
I've seen them already from TikTok.
Can't watch TikTok. But anyway, what are the farmers protesting about in the UK?
Okay, what they're protesting about? Well, basically, what it boils down to is that within, if I just go back to this thing about Mrs. Gold Eagle saw on TikTok, it's only hearsay. Okay, right? It's a guy that works for a farmer, and he's saying is that he went to the farm to go and plow it, and he said, "Oh no, we're not going to plow that." And he said, "Well, why aren't we going to plow it?" And he said, "Well, because I'm being paid. The government are paying us not to plow it. We're just going to leave it go basically for the next 2-3 years." Anyway, to answer your question that you asked, what is the farmers' protest about? Is what they're being told to do by the government because of climate change is percentages of their land have to be done for different things. So 10% of their land has got to be has got to be grown wild. And the problem is that when they've looked at it, it doesn't fit in with it. Well, are you going to pay me more money to do that? And they've said like, no, so it's basically, it's an economic protest that against what is going to be brought in, which is going to be affecting them. Because we've always said in the freedom movement is, we're telling you this now because you're going to be affected
Yep.
in some time in the future. And because they're being affected by basically what is part of Agenda 2030, that's what they're coming out to say. They're not our people, is the truth of it. You know, in the film, they don't know.
No, they're
don't
looking
know,
after themselves, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you were to go up to a farmer, and as I have, I've interviewed 3 farmers that in South Wales, because I wanted to get them on the show, talk to them, find out what they're saying. And when I make the faux pas of talking about things like you know, Agenda 2030 or even 15-minute cities, you know, like that, they haven't got a clue. Haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
And it's the same as well with you know, this I forgot what her name is. Polly put the kettle on. It was all about the trans things, safe spaces. She was in London. She was the one of the heads of it, and she was having a protest in Hyde Park. So Base Welshman, friend of mine from down the road, said, "Oh, going up to Posey Parker." That was it, Posey Parker.
Okay, yeah.
He said, "Oh, going up to cover the Posey Parker. Do you want to come with me?" Oh, yeah, all up for it. So we drove up to London, went there. So I'm talking to people, you know, like that, and yeah, I support you. You know, it's really good like that. And did you go to the freedom marches? And they go, "What? the freedom marches?" But do you know what I mean? It was literally like that. They're not our people either.
No, they're
What
not.
we need to do, I think, is sort of like is this thing of unity, you know, of bringing people together, shaking their heads, knocking their heads together. Maybe I don't know, but where will we be? Right, a prediction is needed, John. Where do you think you're going to be in 3 years' time? Now, obviously, your wife's baking business might be bringing in some shekels, might be good, which I do wish her success as well, because what she's doing is she's changing her algorithm. You know, she's changing things. Right? Okay, gym's not working. We got to do that. And this is what all these people, you know, that are watching this. There's 40 people watching this now. This is what you need to be doing. Is you need to be thinking about yourselves. You need to be thinking about your mental health. Because if you're anything like John and me, you know, seriously, you're looking at this news and everything like that. If it's driving us nuts, think of how it's, you know, driving you guys.
Well, and that's why we've started doing. We've got a second channel called The Real Review, where Ben does all his.
I've been watching
stuff,
it,
and I've been doing new movie reviews on it and things like that, and it's much better fun.
Well, started doing movie review as well.
Yeah, it's much better fun. You know, and you get a better response from it, because people can tell when you're interested in something and having a good time, rather than talking about something. And don't get me wrong, I'm talking about our talk tonight. I've really enjoyed, because it's good to get a perspective on what's going on with all those weirdos out there, you know, and I think that's the kind of thing that you need to be able to speak to someone about, and this is almost like our, you know, down the pub session a Thursday night with me and Ed, you know, because unfortunately we live so far apart that we don't get to go down the pub very often. We have been once. But yeah, it's I think it's great to have these kind of talks, and I've really enjoyed my talk tonight. I would like you to come back on at some point, Simon.
I'd love to, because the only reason that I tend not to be watching Chasing Descent, I'll tend to catch up. You know, because I'm subscribed, so you get like a notification. You know, tells you it's on there, and it's something like, oh yeah, go on, I'll stick that on while I'm doing. But like, for example, Natalie's thing, right? So Natalie will have a rant. She had a rant.
Yeah, she does.
Which is brilliant, right? But it only goes on for like 10 minutes. So I've got to stop working. The work that I do is on the computer. So I'm working on the computer. So I don't like to stop. So this is why my friend that I was talking about before, who sends me these videos, those videos are like 2-3 hours long of it going on. But even that is bad, because it will say something like, well, if you look at these, whatever it is, I'll actually have to like stop doing my work to go and have a look at it. So it is distracting. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think everything's a distraction. I mean, you and I, John, tonight,
Yeah.
we've distracted 40 people
Yeah.
into listening to us when they could have been doing something like going for a walk, getting some
Yeah.
exercise.
No,
You know,
don't do that. Come and listen to us. You know, it makes sense. And
Well,
I got to call out Pandora Chaser 2's. They say new to the channel, but it's been chilled and funny.
Yeah,
Well,
Pandora's is a bloke as well. I lost £1 to Sean Finch because I thought Pandora Chaser was a girl. Because
well,
Pandora.
what is Pandora?
He's
Well,
a boy.
yeah, but I mean, what is Pandora? What is Pandora? Is it,
Pandora was a box.
yeah. So it's on non-sex specific, is it? So yeah,
Non-binary.
come back tomorrow night, Pandora Chaser, to our all-in show where we have me, Ben, and Nat.
What time's that on?
That's on at 9:00. All our shows are on at 9:00.
Oh, right, okay.
So Thursday night.
Didn't they used to be on earlier?
Like months and months ago. We've been at 9:00 for ages, mate. So yeah, we do all our shows at 9, and we only do 2 live shows a week now. We do Thursday with me and Ed, where we talk about weird stuff or anything and everything. Ed and I have great conversations, I think, but whether you think or not is up to you. And then Friday night we have what's called All In, where sometimes it gets spicy. Sometimes it gets spicy. Ben and I can argue a lot, but we always remain friends. And you know what? The sign of a good adult is you can disagree about things and still be friends with each other, which doesn't appear to happen on Twitter. It doesn't appear to happen on Twitter, does it? Oh, I'm blocking him.
I mean, I don't understand the block. I did once block Anna Breeze. I put my hand up.
Oh,
I did, but then I unblocked her. But then she blocked me.
Yeah. I block people that put me on lists because they use lists to target you.
Well,
that's how I've lost. That's how I've lost like 3 accounts.
I'm not on any there was that one about the people on Twitter that are like the worst turfs.
Yeah.
I'm not on any of those. I mean, I'm definitely I'm not shadow banned because I've done one of those tests. Where you do like a test and it says like everything's fine, but I'll send out something really, really what I think's really funny, and it'll get like 30, maybe 30 views. As Mrs. Gold Eagle says to me, why are you doing it, Simon? Why do you bother? And she's right.
Yeah, she is right. Because Twitter's it's a time soak. It is a time soak. You just need to get off it. And I had one of the worst. I mean, I had an account in 2009. I've had a Twitter account since 2009. And what got me was when Elon Musk took it over and said he was going to have an amnesty, and then never followed through.
Yeah, I mean, he brings back selective accounts at certain times.
Yeah.
Well, I say if he actually, I don't think he's running it as a thing. I just think he owns it. He leaves his minions to do the. But we say, oh, Elon Musk did this to me. As if it was actually him.
Yeah, I don't trust Musk. I really don't.
And you're not wrong to, because you've just got to look at what he wants, and that's the AI, neurology, brain link. Unless you want to go up to my son. I was talking about earlier about my son. He actually, when I was talking to him about AI, he was saying, "Oh, it'd be really good because I'll be able to play my games faster, and I could live inside the game." Because you know this thing with the metaverse.
Yeah,
that is actually appealing to the younger generation.
Have you watched?
Seriously?
Have you watched the 3-Body Problem on Netflix?
What's it called? Sorry, no, Netflix. I wouldn't have watched it anyway.
It's called.
I don't watch Netflix.
The 3-Body Problem. It's actually pretty damn good. The Chinese,
I'll check it
Chinese author that wrote the original book. It's pretty good. Right, I think I think I've had enough tonight. I don't know about you, Simon, but
To be honest, you've done well. My wife, after about 3 minutes, my wife usually, I've had enough now. So you've done well, John. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you to those guys that have watched me as well. And my message is to those that are new to the channel that have come from UNN is support these guys at Chasing Descent, and because it doesn't clash. It doesn't clash with UNN. It was there. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Simon. I've really enjoyed my night. You've made up for my lack of an Ed, and I still don't know where he is.
Yeah. Did you get that photograph though? Because I was looking at it. I think the photograph that he sent, I think that's been photoshopped.
Oh, that's a possibility. I think he could
I think we need to see a video.
Yeah.
In a studio. With a seagull.
Yeah, and an eyebrow.
Yeah.
And anyway, thank you for attending tonight, and as always, it's been great for you.
'Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. 'Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. 'Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. 'Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, 'cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, 'cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta start through the sewer. What you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. 'Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to